your perspective, because I don't think you've been on a podcast with us where we've talked about ListKit. What has it been like? Because I know you're mostly in the info space.
Yeah.
You had Saas. What makes ListKit different than all the Saas businesses you've run before, or more successful?
People don't churn from it. It's great. It's like easy to sell. I was talking to someone about this, and it was like, how many ListKit competitors are there? And it's like real competitors. It's like not very many that are
5.
Yeah, especially after mobile numbers too.
What is it?
It's like
Apollo,
5.
Zoom Info, Uplead,
Seamless,
Rocket Reach.
Yeah, there's like 5 or 6
instantly.
Lucia.
Yeah,
Right,
so
there's like
Lemlist.
No, they have way smaller databases than us. None of them have.
I'm just saying people that would
us.
be considered competitors.
Yeah. All right. Well, that's good.
There's like less than 10 though, I'd say.
Okay. Yes. So it's like difficult to make that. You can't just fucking spin one of those up. Like that's not a thing. You can't just do that.
It's
hard. What?
Only took us 2 years and $200,000 at least.
No, here's the thing with it. That means supply is low. It's not like you run an agency. Oh, we run a cold email agency of like fucking 8,000 people selling the same thing. Or like you have a high ticket coaching program and there's like 1 million motherfuckers selling the same exact thing. So it's like we're selling something that has a very low supply. So it's really easy to make sales of it because there's so much demand for it and so little supply. So I'm like, okay, this is phenomenal. Now the thing with all the rest of the competitors is that it's very I guess you could say like corporate-esque, and they're not. And what I mean by saying is they're not using any kind of direct response, like no DR heavy shit. Like, hey, let me ram this VSL and like 18 direct response ads and like test a bunch of funnels and like get the sales team behind it. Obviously, like Zoom Info does that, but like ramming YouTube ads to get people to sign, like making self-liquidating funnels and whatnot. It's like, I don't think you guys understand if you can fucking there are a lot of people here too. If you can self-liquidate on a cold traffic funnel for a SaaS, you're going to make $1 billion fucking dollars. Like, actually.
Yeah.
Like $1 billion. Because, dude, we would just spend like $30,000 a day. Like, whatever. Start taking out like debt and shit. Where it's like, I self-liquidate in like 24 hours. So it's like you immediately make the money back and just scale it infinitely. So it's like, it's like, that's what I'm trying to find. But people don't understand. People think, like, oh, I'll learn Facebook ads and I'll do Facebook ads for a bunch of clients, and I'm gonna make them a lot of money. There's fucking tens of millions of businesses advertising on digital platforms, and maybe 1% of them profit. It's profiting off of ads and digital ads, especially with how expensive they are now, is so foreign of an eventuality. People think you can just like fucking spin up some ads and like you just make money. It doesn't work like that at all.
No.
Like
Not up front.
Huh?
Not up front.
Yes.
That's why like payback period is such an important
Yes.
metric when people are looking to acquire a SaaS, because the assumption is you're losing money up front. How long does it take you to actually make that back if the customer stays?
Yes, exactly. So like it's and people don't understand like the raw volume of shit in different funnels and angles and testing and videos and how many, like, just hundreds of different iterations of different funnels and different approach angles until you find one that can just self-liquidate. And once you have it, it's like, holy shit, this is about to cook. And then you just ram everything you have into it. That's what I'm trying to do. It's just test those iterations as fast as possible. And this is another thing. People think like let's assume there's like combinations. So like an instance. An instance would be you have a premise of an ad, you have like what the funnel says, and then all the email follow-ups, all the calling follow-ups, the texting follow-ups, what the offer is. Assume like all these different variables, whatever they are uniquely is one instance.
Yes.
There's some instance that self-liquidates. Like one
Where
out of
you
a
change like the copy of the ad or the funnel.
1 out of 1,000 of those instances will self-liquidate. So
that's all it takes.
Yeah, the problem with people is that, like, they're like, one, they don't know it's like 1,000. They think it's like 1, and then they fail, and they're like, oh, this doesn't work. It's like, okay, yeah, it doesn't work for fucking you, but it's definitely going to work for me. This goes back to the confidence conversation, where it's like, I'm going to find it. So,
because you know, like, what it is required.
yes, no, the
And
problem,
because of the corporate structure, they just don't test it this way. Like you're looking at it like, how can I break a 4-digit lock? Like, how can I crack the code? Where they're like, okay, Jenny in marketing, like, come up with your idea for the week. And she's like, okay, whatever I can do to like punch the time card.
Because there's no incentive for her to actually give a fuck.
yeah, so
Exactly.
it's like, I'm gonna fucking sit here and just like make
What's that thing in Lord of the Rings? My precious.
hundreds of iterations as fast as possible. Just so many and test them so fast because people are like, oh yeah, well, we're gonna do this for a couple years. It's like, no, bro, I need to find this in like 60 fucking days. Like, fast, like, let's go, like, all of it. That's what's actually nice about ListKit, because we already have a cash flow company to, like, eat. So, like,
Yeah.
it's like, oh, all the money ListKit makes, just spend it, all of it. And I'm like, oh yeah, this is gonna be great. I'm just gonna launch funnels, just 500 a day, go, and then make a new one. That one, 500 a day, go. And just like, just test them fast as fuck.
The thing I love about ListKit right now is we're still early on enough to where we can make changes so quickly. Like with Client Ascension, you don't think so?
No. We don't have like the resources to implement as fast as we want.
Yeah, we have a dev team that works like nonstop. Like,
Yeah, but it's
we
like,
make
we'll add it
changes.
to the roadmap.
No. We are fast as fuck.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
Compared
no.
to every other one I've been involved, it is fast as shit.
Yeah. Like we were like, okay, hire salespeople,
imagine
like
if we had a million
three
devs.
onboarded this week, and then we'll have like 2 next week,
Yeah.
and 2 next week, and 2 next week. Like that's the fun part. Whereas like Client Ascension, as it gets like bigger, it's just like a little harder to change direction every time. Like we know what we need to do with that challenger funnel. It's going to take some time.
Yeah, I was
Realistically.
thinking about this today because I have like the org charts for Client Ascension and now ListKit mapped out, just following all the training that Taylor has, and I'm like, we've made a lot of mistakes along the journey of building Client Ascension to the point where it's gotten like almost like overinflated, like the team, right? And it's just cool to like pull those lessons and now apply it to ListKit.
Yeah.
So like ListKit, like we're not going to make the same mistakes where we're just going like hiring sprees without having like really any idea behind what this person is supposed to do. No one gets hired without a scorecard. No one gets hired if it already falls within one of our own responsibilities. There's no layover between like there's 2 of the same people in the company. So yeah, it's just cool. Like it could trail in Client Ascension's success and avoid a lot of those mistakes where we're over hiring or
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
the org chart, like the fact we didn't have an org chart for
Yeah.
Client Ascension
Dude,
until now.
Dude,
It's like,
speaking of Eddie earlier, he had such a great perspective on this when he gave the keynote at our event, because the way that he was talking about compensating employees was based off of the ROI on that specific employee. Where like people are like, oh, I don't want to pay somebody more than $6K a month because that's a lot of money. Like I don't think I could pay that much right now. But he would look at it and be like, I'll pay this person $15K a month guaranteed because I know their ROI is $30K a month. And when people complain about being compensated, like, oh, I'm worth this much, you're only paying me $100,000 because I'm worth $1 million to the company. Like that's the benefit of being a business owner. Like finding those people that you can actually leverage. So now I feel like with ListKit, like every time we look at a new hire, you just don't hire them unless there's like a clear ROI to that person being on the team, as opposed to stressing how much you're paying them up front.
yeah, it's like every role is required. Like some of the most recent hires we made, the best one I think was we got a lot of great sales talent, which is huge. But the one I did recently was the onboarding specialist.
Yeah.
And so like when you have a SaaS, you have to
yeah, he's
get the
great.
person to understand how to use the SaaS. And it's like, well, they're only paying us $29 a month.
We're gonna need a
It's
second
like,
one.
Yeah, so I already have the second hire lined up. It's going to be Francois, who's been doing the 50 free leads for like 2 months. So he knows exactly how to use the platform and build a list. But anyways, like people think like, oh, they're paying you $79. Why would you spend time doing a one-on-one call with this person? It's like because they need to know how to use the platform in order to stick around. That's why our churn is really low right now. It's because we overcompensate on like the education and the time we spend with our customers to make sure that they're actually using the thing. Because we don't want people to just sign up and leave credits in their account and never come back and use it again. And so like that's where all the attention and effort is going.
Yeah.
And that's something we learned from like Go High Level, which is one of the most successful SaaS companies.
Yeah, they do onboarding calls.
And you're only paying like their pricing structure is still like mind-boggling. But they charge the same thing, like $99 a month, and they'll get on a one-on-one onboarding call with every single new customer if they have to. There's a reason for that.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
They're one of the SaaS companies that just have like a baller marketing department. Like they incorporate some like DR shit.
Yeah.
So
Yes, they do.
respect to them.
Yeah.
Like they always have too. They're
know.
always running like webinars and different workshops that are like actually like good copy. I feel like with us, we're pretty fortunate because like we know how to talk to our customers because we work so closely with all of them in Client Ascension because we were our own customer when we were building a lead gen agency. Whereas like a lot of the other competitors, they're there. Like they have more awareness than us because they'll be on billboards and they'll pay a shit ton to pop up on the top of the Google search. But like we actually talk to the person.
Yeah.
Whereas like them, it's just like banner ads essentially.
Well, I feel like we actually give a shit because we're still so small. Like, Apollo gets a user, the fucking CEO doesn't care if the user gets results.
So like I was talking about that versus Client Ascension. Like it's cool being small. Like it's you gotta like.
You're like lean again. It's like a second chance at like doing it better, or doing it right. Because like Client Ascension, you can't move that fast.
No.
Like we can't just like restructure a bunch of things because there's 40 fucking people. Hey guys, if you enjoyed this short clip, check out the full interview here. And if you want to see more clips from this episode, check it out right here.